It's time to do some detail parts for this kit. And the first thing I had to do was wash them off. Now there's a lot of resin detail parts, and if you shop at Aldi's, you might get your lunch meat or any other place in these. But what I'm concerned about is this right here. These are the Sidewalks. These come in a lot of kits now that Bar Mills puts out, and in this kit right here, I can't remember the name of it right offhand, but this complete loading dock right here was resin casting. So they're starting to put out a lot more resin casting. Now, I did a video on Lofts Candy, and I was looking all over the place, and I thought I did a video on how I did the Sidewalks on it, but I guess I couldn't. I just found a real short clip. But Bar Mill Scale Model Works has a video out, and I'll put a link to that here. But I'm going to show you how I do mine. It's basically the same, but I just use a few different colors, and I'll show you the short clip that I found from Loft Candies and a photo of it also. But here we go. I followed the instructions from the QR code, except I did the brick in yellow ochre and I went over it with white, and I super glued it together. Before I start on the next kit, which is Carney's Cigar Corner, which I showed in the video that I put out, I'm going to be working on the Sidewalks, and you can see that I did a few right here. The base color is flat earth brown from Rust-Oleum with camouflage, and you can see instructions on Bar Mill Scale Model Works. They have a video on it that goes back a couple of years, and they showed how to do it. They said spray it and then wipe it off real quick. Well, I set it up on my yardstick with 4 of them and tried it, and I wasn't fast enough, and then I went to one at a time and it still wasn't fast enough. So this stuff dries really fast, but you can see I have 2 different shades right here. This is what it is after it's wiped down, and this is what it is after I sanded it. I took this 150 grit 3M sandpaper. Now this is really flexible, and went over it with my fingers and just hit it like that to get the high spots on there, and get some of the curb down so you can have the gray. Now these things started out flat. I picked the flattest ones possible because these 3 over here were curved really bad. So, but even after painting them, it comes up. One thing I want to show you is on the back of these this is really slick, and what I had to do is, before I was able to stick it on the masking tape, I had to sand it down a little bit, the bottom of it, so I could get a rough surface so it would stick to the masking tape. It will not stick to the masking tape with the sheen on it like that. So it's, if you're gonna attach it to masking tape, you got to be aware of that, and I did that with the P400. So I'm going to do the rest like I did on the ones on what was it, Lofts Candy. Here's what it looked like when I was finished. I think all I did was I used yellow ochre on this, and I'm not even sure if I even put gray on this. I just sanded that down just a little bit. But here's wiping it down and sanding, and the finished product right there. I'm going to try a couple of different color on here. I'm going to use yellow ochre because I'm partial to yellow ochre, because where I grew up in western Pennsylvania, a lot of the bricks were yellow. And I'm also going to use Canyon Orange and go over it with a little bit of titanium white. So I'm going to start out with the yellow. And whenever I did my mountains, my rock castings, I used the yellow ochre full strength on the rocks, and then went over it with the India ink and alcohol solution afterwards, and it came out really good. So we'll just do this with the yellow first, and it doesn't take much. And this is the same way I did it with the on Loft's Candy that I gave the example earlier. I'll put that one off to the side, and now we'll do the Canyon Orange and then go over it with white. And I sort of almost dry brushed it on there, you know, like but with the white we'll just leave a little bit of white on it. Maybe go a little bit thicker, and we'll see what that looks like there. And I'll give this a little bit of time to set up before I put the white on it, and then I'll be able to clean this brush off right here. And then I'll let you decide which one is the best. Well, I gave it a few minutes to dry, and I shook up the titanium white, and we're going to dry brush that on. We'll start with the yellow ochre, and let me get my goggles on so I can get a better view of it. Okay. And if it goes on a little bit too heavy, you could just rub it a little bit. And this looks like the brick, you know, because it was war. You know, I grew up in the 50s and 60s and 70s, and I'm not sure when the brick was laid in the town, but if you go back to the same community, you'll see spots where they paved over it with the asphalt, and the brick is still underneath it. The brick held up, but they went over it in spots with the asphalt. So the brick lasts a long time, but I'm sure it was bright yellow when they first put it in, and then it faded as the years went by. So that was just one dab of the white on the paintbrush, and just grabbing some of it afterwards for on the edge here. Okay, there's that one. Now we'll do the Canyon Orange. And see what that looks like. And looks like it shows up a little bit better with the Canyon Orange. You know, I guess the darker you go with the base color of the brick, it shows up a little bit better with the dry brushing of the white. So I'm going to continue with this on Workbench Wednesday, but maybe we'll try a couple of different colors, or we'll have a poll before we do come over to the workbench. Oh, yeah, I got to do the edge, the curb. And just to review how I got this far here, I had to sand down. I wasn't quick as Jack Ellis, but it's probably a little bit warmer here in Florida than it is up in Maine, even though he did it inside the shop. But he had the terry cloth. When I was a kid, my uncle worked at Fisher Body, and he used to bring us cheesecloth all the time, and that worked really well. So I'm going to leave these two right here, and I'm going to take a photo of it, and you could be the judge of which one looks better. And I'll even ask Debbie, because she has a good eye on this. Well, I took this in the other room to Debbie, and I think I have to agree with what she said was the better looking one, and she said this one here with the orange on it. So for right now, we're going to go with the one with the orange on it, but I'm going to see if I got something, because this is a pretty light orange. I know I have Georgia clay and some other oranges, so I'm going to try that on Wednesday night to see if it looks any better like that. We'll have more on Workbench Wednesday, and right up here is where I have everything staged right now. I'm going to have to make this a little bit wider to fit all 5 of the buildings on there, but we'll be starting on the one that goes on this side on Workbench Wednesday, and we might try another color. I'm going to go in my stash of colors down there and see if I can get a darker orange, or maybe, well, I know I got a red, but I'll stick with the orange. Maybe I'll ask Debbie, and you know, she's good with colors. She's better than I am. So until the next time, we'll see ya, and have fun with whatever you're doing.